We are going to fucking bust this boy. Oh, there's a little bear out there. Unguarded living room. Maya. Please answer us, Mystic Maya. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. Assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time he used to kill her. He and Unguard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. That bear's probably a bomb. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. But there are a lot of cuts on it for some reason. A bear? Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here. Oh, I'm sure that's for Shu. Do you think that this came through that little door? This door, it's locked. Well, I'm pretty sure it used to breaking doors down by now. Let's go, Edward. Ugh, there's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is Unguard's private lounge. Look at this right. An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals and a VCR. Check inside the deck. If there's a tape, it would be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment of the crime was the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, bud. The tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. No. But there's no mistake. Someone used this to record something. Looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. It's Unguard's computer. Maya, why couldn't you have used this to get help? Mr. Nick, where's the power switch? Oh, I get it. So that's what happened. She couldn't find the power switch. It's a VCR and antenna. The footage that the spy camera took at the crime scene was beamed here and recorded on tape. If only we had that tape, it would have been really helpful. Sadly, we don't. Wine cellar. Is that a picture? We searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. Looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now we've lost our lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking to you to be our pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. This looks like a picture of Miss Unpaw. With love, Celeste. Miss Unpaw, you mean... Yeah, Mr. Kurita's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Unpaw be here in Mr. Unguard's mansion? And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. Ah! What's wrong, Pearls? Please, let me see the picture frame. Huh? What's so special about the frame? On the back, there's something written on the back of the frame. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message. What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearl, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's got to watch out for the helpless lung. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. That's I. No, Mystic Maya. Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes? As far as clues goes, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? Miss Andrews' cyclone. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow. To blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. It's Andrews. I've come to remove your psych lock. A psych lock? I want to know, and you will tell me. Your secret. Fine, go ahead and try to break me if you can. Oh, yes. Yes. You don't literally have to ask me twice. I will. I like the bravado. Why frame him? There would be suicide. Can you explain to me this relationship between Matt and Celeste? This is a photo of Miss Unpaw, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. What? With love, Celeste. This is Miss Unpaw's handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. Ungard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Celeste, she was supposed to get married to Juan. Yeah, but I heard that it didn't work out. Could have been cheating or something, maybe? No, she was younger. Because Mr. Corita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt. Because of Matt, Mr. Ungard? What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste, she was Matt's manager a long time ago. Of course she was. She was the happiest woman in the world at that time. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why. With the love, Celeste is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything splendid as that. Celeste was being used. Toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built upon how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal that would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that is where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then it was suddenly called off. On that night, Juan called their marriage off. Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was revenge for Celeste and for myself. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see, so that's what happened. But then why did Mr. Corita have to call off the marriage? And the wedding? I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Poor Miss Unpaw. That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind, and in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds, and so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note. But why would he do that? It's simple, because he was going to wait for when it would hurt him the most. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt, and it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge. There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note, at a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it from Juan. It was so I could find out about all of this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I had even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find the suicide note, and that's when the revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring to them my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters, so when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? Fuck no. I'll help you, though, because I hear you need an attorney. I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. I can't sleep either. Not with my situation or with what I know now. Defending a guilty man. We gotta get our guilty verdict. We gotta botch it. How did I get into this mess? Is Judge gonna hit me again? That's far enough. You can't run forever. Mr. Phoenix, right? What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence! You're no longer worthy of your title. I've had this dream before, someplace some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today, I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove a killer innocent. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Now listen up, you better get unguarded guilty sentence. If you get that creepy slime bag not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Maya. Phoenix. Mia? Maya, how's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here. Not anywhere. It's that accursed on guard again. Will you ever leave me alone? Look, don't call me again. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. I just wanted to cheer you up, man. Gumshoe, I'm really, really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then then you have some sort of lead. Sorry, but right now we got 0 leads on that guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe. Until the trial is over, until the verdict gets handed down, we're going to do everything we can to find a killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true, I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer. If you go at Mr. Edgeworth, go at Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out. Oh no, I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix. You understand how, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy: friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through, I know it. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ungard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in the murder. That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Ungard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those of which she cannot escape. Then you're saying that she's guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. This looks like a shell. This is a certain calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Mr. Juan Corrida was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt Ungard. What a surprising turn of events. I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time. So I know that everything Edgeworth has to say is true. Or has said. But we still have to hold out as long as we can. At least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Awful. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Oh my god. Now then, witness. Name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, that's, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way, yeah? Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry, but I'm just kind of nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But, you know, I didn't actually get in to see you, Matt, when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Ungard's room. Okay, sure. Visit to Matt's room. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first, I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Power's testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. Ungard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? That's the assassin. Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're going to have to charge in head first, right? I mean, we have to keep going as long as possible. The defendant's room. Why did you go there? Well, I'm his mentor, like a big brother, sort of, and I wanted to say congrats. What's wrong? Why did you stop? Mr. Wright? What is it? You're going to try to trick me into a corner, aren't you? Huh? I know I'm just a poor underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer. No one said you were Mr. Powers. No, please don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time? Witness. I'll personally talk to the defense at a later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So you went to the defendant's room and then... Hey, wait a minute. How did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? Are you sure it was Matt on guard? Yeah, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the Nickel Samurai mask then. If that's the case, then he really can't be mistaken. And what was the defendant doing standing in front of his own room? At first, what do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. I guess I'm going to have to wait patiently on this one. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how long did you watch the two of them? He doesn't fucking tip? Oh, not more than a minute or two, I think. Who are these guests you're talking about? You guys, of course. You and my and Little Pearl. I thought it would be really rude since I invited you guys if I disappeared on you. So I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. It's like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. I was making such a racket in her hyper state. I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. There's gotta be something fucking here. I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Am I supposed to know? Hey, wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated... I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt tipped him. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Who knows? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Matt gave the bellboy a tip. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Oh, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much was it? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. It sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of these was most shocking. Oof. Shit. Tip. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give someone generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. How much money are we talking about? A little too much. Would you please clarify for the court about how much would you say the defendant gave to the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? Fat stacks. Oh, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. Oh. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious. Objection! The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for some people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things to tray, why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. So, supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment. Isn't it obvious for the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida? Then the bellboy, what the witness saw was, he was an assassin. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card of Shelley the Killer, left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer? He is the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I'm certain that person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured something out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify to what you saw. Yes, sir, right away. Fucking hell, Powers. Please just give me your fucking testimony for once, instead of just beating around the fucking bush.